Your cat doesn't see you the way you see yourself. In their mind, you already have a role, and it shapes how they treat you, how much they trust you, and what they expect from you. There are 5 of these roles, and every owner falls into one of them, and you might not even realize which one you've become to your cat. Archetype 1. The provider, food. Okay, so you probably saw this coming, but one of the archetypes is all about the 3-way relationship between your cat, you, and, of course, food. If your cat could write your resume, the first line would read, opens as can on command, highly reliable food source, smells vaguely like salmon. Pretty much all cats have a food-based relationship with their pet parents. But here's the thing, if that is at the heart of how they see you, then it goes deeper than just getting food from you. It means they see you as the archetype that we are going to call the provider. Now, cats are independent hunters by nature, but thanks to evolution, they've pulled a 4D chess move. Instead of hunting, they've grown to the point of instead moving in with us humans and using their cuteness to get us to feed them. The quirk is it's not quite as manipulative as it sounds. The strong feelings go both ways, and they come to feel you are necessary to their survival, and that rather naturally creates a bond that's deeper than simple dependency. But how do you know this is the case with your cat and you? Well, does your cat position themselves near the food prep area like a tiny sous chef with authority issues? Do they meow or speak specifically to you when it's feeding time, ignoring everyone else? Do they appear precisely 5 minutes before the alarm clock rings? Not to wake you up, but to ensure breakfast operations commence on time. Well, then that is so much more than a normal feeding time relationship. This may leave you thinking, does my cat only love me because I feed them? But fortunately, that's not the case. There was a study published in Behavioral Processes back in 2017. Now, in this study, cats were offered a choice between food, toys, and human social interaction. Now, you'd think they'd be all about the food, but no, most of them chose human attention, proving that even if your cat sees you as the provider, it's about more than the calories. It's about the feeling of love they get from the fact you are always there to feed them. Archetype 2, the sanctuary. Now, it might surprise you to think of cats as seeking sanctuary given how elegant and independent they are. But despite that and their apparent aloofness, they can get really deeply attached to their chosen person. Though, I am sure I don't need to tell you guys that. Now, if your cat hides behind you when guests arrive or seeks you out during thunderstorms, that makes you their shelter from all things strange. Exactly like a sanctuary. This is a classic example of attachment theory. So, interesting studies into this were done at Oregon State University back in 2015. And basically, they placed cats in unfamiliar environments. Time and time again, the same thing happened. The cats explored more freely when their caregiver was present. That is what dogs do, and you'd expect that. That is what human children do, and you'd expect that. It's called the secure base effect, and no matter how independent cats may be, they do it as well, especially if they see their pet parent as a sanctuary. So, are you a sanctuary? Well, one classic sign is that your cat's first instinct in a scary moment like fireworks or your home being invaded by goblins from another dimension again is to find you. Another is that they sleep curled against your side or on your chest. Not just because it's the warmest spot, but because it feels like the safest. The third sign, with one important caveat, is that when you're home, they relax, but when you leave, they become alert, often staying near doors or windows until you return. Now, the reason why I say there's a caveat to this is that while it is lovely to be loved, you don't want a pet that reaches such intense levels of attachment that they get stressed or anxious without you around. But if it's nice and balanced, archetype number 3, the prey substitute. So, cats see the world through the lens of movement and curiosity. For them, playtime is so much more than opportunity to goof around. It's how they rehearse survival, sharpen their senses, and bond with their trusted humans. And this is why your cat may well attack your feet, ambush you from the couch, or take any opportunity they can to nibble and mess around. But if doing that with you is at the crux of all their interactions with you, well, the way we see it, you've earned the role of prey substitute though, since that sounds a bit grim. We'll call it the playmate. Archetype 3B, playmate. So, how? Do you know that it's more than just a normal play session and a sign you officially have the playmate role? Well, one clear sign is if they drop toys near you or drag them dramatically across the floor to get your attention. And another is if they initiate ambushes or hide and pounce games, specifically when you're watching. But perhaps the most obvious, feline behaviorist Michelle Nagel-Schneider notes in her book, The Cat Whisperer, that play is both social and communicative, a way for cats to express affection and confidence toward those they trust. So, if you live in a house with multiple people, but it is always you who is chosen for the play sessions time and time again, well, that's not random. They're always choosing you because you're the one they've clearly decided is the most fun. Archetype 4, the companion. Now, cats are kind of iconic for their, well, to put it kindly, territorial ways. I mean, they might as well carry tiny flags with how they claim everything is theirs. But territoriality isn't just about physical space. It's emotional too. They don't just claim space. They decide what belongs in set space. And a cat who sees you fitting in the companion role will do all they can to integrate you into their sense of place. So if your cat follows you from room to room, not meowing or demanding, but just being there, they are essentially, and as weird as this sounds, turning you into territory. And these are not the only signs. Do they sit near you, often within touching distance, even if they're not actually touching you? Do they mirror your behavior, lying down when you sit or stretching when you move? Do they seek consistent but gentle contact, stuff like brushing past your leg or tapping you lightly with their tail? Now, behaviorists call stuff like this affiliative behavior. It's how cats express social closeness without dependency. And if your cat does this regularly, it perfectly fits what the book The Domestic Cat, The Biology of Its Behavior calls, and here's their phrase, a silent companionship marked by proximity rather than overt display. So, if your cat always finds a way to be in your orbit, even if they pretend they're not watching, then you are definitely a companion. And I think you should take that as a huge compliment. But here's the thing, you might have been watching this video and been thinking to yourself, now hold on, I feel like I am all these things. And that's because there is an archetype that's music kind of all the archetypes combined. Archetype 5, the parent. Okay, so for cats who are rescued young, orphaned, or simply raised with intense affection, their human can become more than a caregiver. You become a parental figure, the central attachment that defines their sense of love and safety. You become the archetype that is all the others mixed together, the parent. Now, I have made whole videos about how to tell if your cat sees you as their parent. But some classic signs include kneading you with their paws, a throwback to a behavior kittens use when nursing from their mums, nuzzling into your neck, face, or hands when tired, mirroring the comfort-seeking instincts of kittens, or excessively vocalizing when you leave, and greeting you with trills or soft meows when you return. This is a fantastic dynamic to achieve with your cat. Not just because of how good it makes you feel, but because of the benefit it has on your cats. A 2021 study in the publication Animals found that cats who formed early secure attachments with their owners displayed lower stress behaviors and more exploratory confidence later in life. Now, regardless of how your cat sees you, do they trust you? If you'd like to know the answer to that, check out this next video.